temptations. The smile on my face is painted. I want you to take it, whatever keep making me anxious.
All right, what's going on, world? Once again, we got Sam Long right here, your boy Midas. We're gonna do a
Going
Paint
on, everybody?
Smiles. As you can hear, I can't breathe for shit. It's pretty normal though. You guys probably at some point are used to this shit already, huh? Probably did like 10 movies like this. They're like, huh? What man? It makes me think. What's that character? Shaggy, the singer.
Shaggy?
Jump on top, like that motherfucking voice, the big old nose. Anyway,
Or if you watch Friends, when Phoebe gets sick and she thinks she sounds sexier, so she just
oh
keeps
my
trying to
god.
get more sick.
That episode, she was like touching the keyboard, trying to get more germs from Ross.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. That was actually funny because she was like, "Hey, baby," like trying to like an
Yeah.
old school ass singer. That's funny. I've tried that before with my music. It doesn't really work too good like that. It sounds like this. I tell my mom one time. I said, "I'm just doing an example like this. Okay, I have a song. I set it up, and I showed my mom. And she's like, "You've been working on your singing more, huh?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, if you decide that you're gonna sing some more, you need to stop being so nasally." Like I can't breathe.
And then what do you want from me? I'm working with what I got.
Okay, see that leads us right into speaking of this first topic, boundaries. To set that shit up, right? Right, you got to set your boundaries up with people. But I guess like with yours more so because we're going on a paint a smiles concept, so it's really a men thing. I how do you set your boundaries? I guess we'll start with you. Let's see. I want to see what you say. I got some
What?
random ones.
Well, that's the point. It's like I'm terrible at boundaries.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So me too.
yeah.
The same.
Like to the point that I end up in situations where like, oh, I should have left, but I didn't. I just like I saw it and I should have left, but I was just like, oh, whatever. I'm just like not gonna make a big deal, or I'm just running with it, or I'm just like, oh, you don't think about it, and all of a sudden you're in a situation where it's like, oh, I gotta get the fuck out of here
Oops.
now.
Shit. Yeah, boundary. What like that. Like I'm getting better, I guess, now to be aware. I was I've had because I don't know what you would call it, but a people pleaser. I've always been my whole life. I always want to help people and whatever. But sometimes with that kind of sense of helping people, I'll hurt me.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll do more than I should. Like yeah, maybe I shouldn't have fucking went there just because I was trying to be supportive, right? And so with as far as that with the boundaries, I wish I knew this fucking book. I wish I could remember. It might have been "Say No More" or something, but the whole concept of it was saying no more. Say no more, because the more you say no, you'll realize your life will get better, right? Because a lot of us, especially the ones that are nice and caring, we feel like once we say yes, we're obligated. No matter even if I say yes, and then a week from now I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have said yes, and I knew for the whole 7 days I should have talked to you and said I don't want to go anymore. It's too
Right.
late because I feel obligated now, right? But if I just told you no. And then in 7 days, I'm like, fuck it, I think I can do it. Right?
Yeah, you can change your mind.
It's different.
I think I don't so much verbally will set boundaries, but I'll find that like once I can set my mind to doing something, it's like I'm trying to get back into running. So it's like once I know that I'm not allowing myself to make an excuse, then I'm better at like, oh, I'm not gonna let work be an excuse. Like my boundary is like I don't need to say nothing to nobody, but at 5 o'clock, as long as I'm not like busy doing stuff, it's time to stop working. 5 o'clock is run time,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then that like bleeds into it, and then it's like through my own actions, then it's like then it starts coming into play, and then I find myself maybe it's like a confidence thing or like something, but it's like once it's like it has to start with me
Yeah, yeah.
and what I'm gonna do for me. It can't be like what and like there are some things like let me like find a way to incorporate the kids into like I gotta go run, like they can go ride their bikes with me.
Uh-huh.
Because now like I'm not using them as an excuse. It's like I think for me setting up boundaries first starts with me stopping making excuses
I like
for
that.
like what I want to actually do.
I like that. Yeah, yeah. And as we talk, I'm trying to think of boundaries in general. What I have, I guess one, right? Like you kind of mentioned, and I didn't really notice it so much until you kind of said it way back. But my music night, for the most part, I'm not giving that shit up. Like that's my night. My boundary is that this is mine. You got all these other days. The same thing. Me and my wife got a day. Me and my son got a day. Like these are our days. And unless there's something really going on or whatever, for the most part, those are our days, and that's the boundary. We stop there. Everybody gets any of these other days, any of these other times. But I know it's like boundary. I feel like I'm getting better. I'm creating more boundaries of you told me this one along. Was when I was about to have this my recent son, but I was saying because like this with this whole topic of boundaries, I feel like I've never created a lot of boundaries because I feel like I was being mean. Now I'm not a good friend. I
Right.
have too many boundaries, right? So, but I was saying this at work, and I've learned at work, where I work, just yeah, create boundaries. And I don't even like people like that, like everybody, people in your business for no fucking reason. But anyway, I was saying that somebody asked what his name was going to be, and I said I don't know yet, and I did know, but I didn't feel the need to tell them. And later
Right.
on, I kind of felt like an asshole. And you said you don't have to tell them. You just tell these people boy or girl, because at the end of the day, you can tell them their name. They're going to turn around, walk back in, and not remember what the fuck their child's name is. You tell people the name that are actually going to buy them gifts, that are actually going to talk about them. Those are who needs to know the name. These other random stranger coworkers, it just tell boy or girl. And it was like, that's a boundary, right? That's something you must have had done already, or thought about.
And I had something like that. It's like when I talk about my kids, like when I talk about with most people, like I'll say the boy and the girl.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember you say that.
I don't even say my son or daughter. It's like the boy and the girl.
Yeah.
It's like we got to work up to you getting more than that.
I remember you telling me that a while back.
And it's for that same reason. It's like I'm gonna say my kids' names, and it's gonna be what you're not gonna remember. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna waste my time giving that to you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that to me is like
Great.
that is yeah. And but it's weird how you have those like little idiosyncrasies that like you are kind of your boundaries, but you don't think about them like that until it's like, all right, like have the conversation. Like, and I think talking it out with another person like helps bring it out
Yeah, that's when you find out really what's going on.
because it forces you to like. It's good to talk to yourself and try to like get to know yourself, but I feel like there's always that next step. It's like if you're your only audience, you're not a reliable narrator.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Straight up. Gotta get opinions or topics from people been through it, or you trust or believe.
Right. Like there comes a point you got to be trying shit out.
I definitely love to hear stories of people that been through it already. I don't know. See, because even like that, I'm like that. That's what a lot of humans in general we've lost is history, right? Like that was the reason of history. The reason we write history down is to not repeat history. And so I feel like I always thought that was a smart ass idea that we did. Just let's not keep fucking up what we did before. Let's not do it again. So when people tell me stories, I feel like I soak that shit in. Like well, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? I learned from you.
Yeah.
I don't have to do it. You did it. Thank you.
100%. It's like that's why I'm like big into like I don't ever finish them, but I like to read biographies of like great men. Like I started reading Patton's. I didn't finish it, but it was like I got the gist of like, all right, this is like how he did shit. Like I read George Washington. I was like, all right, I'm 600 pages into a 950 page book. I think I've read enough about this motherfucker.
Didn't write a book report or nothing.
No, it's just like I just like what did they do to be successful? And a lot of it is like they set like yeah, you got to be able to back it up eventually, but a lot of it was like they set certain standards for themselves and they were going to act and they stood by their boundaries like they were like men of honor like in a way.
Uh-huh. That's a big one too cuz like now, right, same concept in the sense of morals, right? Having but the whole thing with boundaries, I guess, honestly comes down to the foundation, right? Of who you are. You have to build that foundation to know where your boundaries are. And I feel like maybe I had quite a bit of years I didn't completely know who I was, which is odd because I swear you can talk to quite a bit of people that knew me then or now, and most people had the gist or the idea, oh, you've always been. And I'm like, really? I didn't know that,
Yeah.
But that's kind of where again I was my only audience. I never really asked anybody, hey, well, what do you really think of me? Do you think I'm being this way? You know what I mean? I never asked. I just saw in my own head, which is never good, right? I never thought, of those things. All right, the next one, you kind of tied it in earlier with the boundaries, the exercise.
Yeah.
Bringing your kids along, not making an excuse. Excuse me. I do that at we do that at home. I try as best I can, to bring the kids out and stuff like that. I have moments where it's frustrating. I'm like, no, I can't. We're done.
Yeah.
You got to take
Yeah.
this aside. But I didn't realize how much exercise really helps with the whole overall mental health, or the way, excuse me, I guess with like testosterone, I guess is what it is. I be having the urge like a motherfucker to hit people anyway. Okay, anyway. Now, when I don't work out, do you know how much more the anyway is there? Dude,
Yeah.
But then I'll go and work out, and I'm like, oh, it's not that bad, and
Yeah.
And it's like, mental health wise, absolutely, it's beautiful. And even too, like I had the other day, like I ain't weighing myself, I am trying to cut some weight or whatever, but I I don't know. The next couple days, I worked out hard, right? A couple days later, I'm just like, I still feel accomplished, right? I still feel sore from 2 days ago.
Right.
Again, feels good, right? To do something 2 days ago and to still mentally feel good.
Yeah.
Exercise is important.
And it's not even like I've never gotten like a runner's high. Like that's not something I've ever experienced.
You got to
Like
sprint at the end.
I would love to get one.
You got to sprint
But
at the end.
But it's like it's that like just like even if I'm not like I feel like shit, like I ran slow, like you piece of shit, just beat myself up the whole run. At the end of the day, it's like still fucking did it. Even if you did terribly, you still did it.
Yeah.
It's not like I failed at running. I ran the whole time.
Yeah. Ran the whole time.
Yeah, I may have run slow, but listen,
Yeah.
I'm still out there and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
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 And I got like this app now that gives me like structure, because like I know like myself, like I'm not gonna write up some plan. Like I'm too all over the place. I'm gonna forget.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna lose where I put that motherfucker, or I'm gonna put it in a note in my phone, and it's gonna get buried with a bunch of other notes.
Same. The note does not work for me anymore.
Or I'll even like if I open like Safari on my phone, I got like 287 tabs on Safari. It's like I'm not gonna open that back up and find it.
Dude, just close the whole Safari and reset that bitch.
I just can't do it. I'm like, there could be.
Oh my god.
There could be something
there.
Could be something.
Oh my gosh. That don't even make sense a little bit.
But it's like that's something that I had to like learn about myself. It's like
damn.
All of my emails, I got thousands of unread emails, and I just got that little red thing,
Man.
like that. No, and it's just like I don't see it. It's like it doesn't bother
I'm
me.
like the opposite. It drives me nuts. All my emails are clean as fuck. Everything. I can't. I hate that. I hate that clutter shit. My mind is that way. I don't need that shit that way. Like
I mean, it's like I don't even see it.
That's it. I don't even see it. Clearly, 1,024 emails unread. The fuck?
Yeah.
Clearly, you don't see it. Oh my god!
And at this point, I ain't going back and reading them all.
Yeah. So just so you know, if you happen to read one nowadays and it says you have an African cousin and you won 20 million, those are scams, Sam.
Yeah.
And somebody always got some grandmother they didn't know about talking about send me your bank information.
Yeah. Coming from somewhere.
All right, so let's go on. See, again, I'm like that lucked out. We'll go on with connections, right? Move on with that. Because see, clearly, if you had a connection with your grandma, you would have knew if she was rich or not.
Yeah.
So don't fall for the scam. But you know what's one, and I talk about it in plenty of them, or just maybe just with the few. Man, I probably don't ever talk about it, which is a good thing here. Well, you said before too, we used to talk on the phone all the time, and I don't like talking on the phone for shit. I'm like, I definitely prefer this. This kind of conversation, video. I get to see expression. It feels a little more close. Maybe I don't like to talk to the phone. I don't really know what it is, but I don't answer the phone for shit. Almost never. I could be sitting right there not doing shit, and it's just like I'm gonna be on the phone for an hour. I don't really feel like talking for an hour, so I'm not gonna answer it. And so anyway, right? You called the other day. We're not going to say the situation or why or whatever, but you were like, oh, I didn't think you were going to answer. I was going to leave a message, and I told you to say, I was just watching the UFC fights. It wasn't going to ruin my day. I don't have to be aware. I just want to watch the fights, and we can talk about whatever. And so I tell my wife plenty of shit, So tell her, she was like, see, I told you. That's why you should answer the phone for your friends calling. But it's like that, right? Like the connections, right? it's not that I don't want the connections, but it is. It's like I don't even know how to explain it. Sometimes I feel like uh, it's an inconvenience because what's going to happen is I'm going to start talking about my stuff because they want to talk about their stuff, and then we're going to get to talking blah blah blah. We're going to get off subject, and again, I start doing all this shit in my head, and I have no audience to tell me to like, shoot, yeah,
Right.
what did you want to talk about, right? So anyway, it was like stuff like that, like the connections were more. My wife, it'd be like focus on the ones that actually matter at least then. The other
Right.
ones, the Facebooks, the Instagram, your music fans, right? That shit. If you don't care about those guys, just get to those when you get to them. But at least the ones that you want to actually talk to, the ones you actually want in your life, right? Like all right,
Yeah.
maybe I should have some connections. My wife.
Well, they say like loneliness is like just as bad for you as like smoking a pack of cigarettes a day.
Right? Yeah, you can be in your own fucking head. I believe that.
Yeah. It's like humans we're social animals.
And man, with that, I told it was one of my coworkers. I was telling him, I said, man, at the same time though, with like that loneliness or whatever, I was like, I posted about it the other day where I was like, I'm so ready at any drop of a dime to stop talking to every single person I've ever known in my life and just keep going on with my life. Like it would be so easy. I don't need to talk to anybody and just talk to myself. But it's like, right, that's something we condition ourselves to do. That's our defense mechanism, I guess, right?
Yeah.
What it really is. Like, oh, but I'm going later anyway.
No, there's this writer like Chuck Bukowski. He said when you when you go and do something and nobody says anything, when you come in home and there's no one to bother you, he's like, is that loneliness or is it freedom?
Right.
It's like it's like
That's like
I
that.
feel I feel like a man like every person I feel like needs like your alone time. Like if you're just constantly fucking with other people, then you got no time for you and you're never gonna be able to like deal with your own stuff.
100%. Fully learn, yeah,
Right.
who you are.
But at the same time, it's like if you're not sharing who you are with other people, then I just feel like you start to just like as a person, you start to waste away. There's something just like
I love that topic that you said right there with that, because again, my wife's my other partner, like it should be the other half, so we have these, but I kind of had moments, I get stupid, I get a little bit embarrassing sometimes or whatever, so and honestly a lot of where this comes from her point of view at the time, right, we've been together a long time, was my anger. I'm quick to think somebody's trying to act a certain way or you're trying to disrespect or so, at some point when I learned how to box, it was really quick to what was that? Like, and I was I had some moments. And so she had to calm that down, like stop it. But with that, I took it too far and started calming me down. The way I am, I'm very animated, I'm very dynamic, and I talk to people, and so I had that conversation with her, like, I just got to be a burning blaze again, right? I just got to just let me be that burning star. And again, it was nothing that she took away, like, that she did. But I was saying, like, with me, I have to do it again because, right, again, now I'm older. I'm a father. I have kids. I've learned things different than it was 10, 15 years ago, right?
Right.
I'm just going to jump up on a guy anymore, right? I understand. I know how to communicate things differently. But I can't stop that burning blaze of a person I am. When I walk into a room, all eyes on me, and it's like whether I'm trying to do it or not, that's how it happens because I am who I am, and it's like like you're saying, I got to get back to that. I got like that with connections. That's why I don't have any connections. That's why I don't talk to anybody. I don't like anybody because I feel like it's fake, but it's always fake only when I'm being fake, right? I'm being this fucking character, and then they like it. I'm like, you're fake and fuck.
Right.
But I was the one fake.
They're just eating what you're giving them.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think sometimes until after the fact. It's over, and I'm like, damn, that was stupid. I did that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, cause I work in a corporate world. It's like I can't just be like, I can't just be whatever I want.
Yeah, 100% you. Yeah. There's restrictions, boundaries. Again, there's certain boundaries you have to set.
And like, I used to be so bad, like I was terrible at it. People were like, you're gonna get yourself in trouble one day. I was just like,
or a fucking huge promotion.
yeah.
Sometimes that's how it happens.
Well, it was just like it was just like without thinking, I would just say things, and I guess that was like the problem is that I just wasn't thinking. And then, but there also became a point now where it's like, instead of just not thinking at all, now I just overthink everything.
Right. Yeah, it is a fine line, isn't it? Trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it's like damned if I do, damned if I don't. But
Yeah.
I've been like, I don't know, just like I've been doing things, like I said, setting the boundary with myself, not making excuses, actually getting out, working out. And then I found it's like, all right, I'm doing it here. Let me try it in another area.
Yeah.
And let me just like, listen, it's not going to happen overnight, but just like little bit, little bit,
Yes. Yes.
little bit.
Yeah. For sure. You know, like that, how you're saying the little bit concept. But I've heard a couple different scenarios but it was like that with the working out concept to because we do beat ourselves up very often, but to just try every day, like you said, just to try to get something. I heard it like a beast. If you're feeding an animal, if you fed that dog every day, how beautiful would that dog look? But if you only feed it once a month, what it's going to look
Right.
like. But same thing with yourself, to not beat yourself up if you missed a day. But when you get home, instead of just sitting down, we all get home, sit on the couch, and damn, day's
Yeah.
over, right? But put your workout shoes right next to where your favorite seat is. Then you
Yeah,
sit down in your
100%.
workout stairs, and like, well, I don't know, just
Motherfuckers
put them
just
on.
staring at me.
And then when you put them on, it's like, well, I might as well go outside now. And it's like those little kind of things, sometimes those little bitty steps, like you said, lead to bigger steps. I can't, I've said it so often. And they say, what is it, habit 21 days to build
Yeah,
a habit?
something like that. Yeah.
Right, so they have an average already because it's true to a point. You can do something and build, that confidence where well, I've already done it this many days. I've already, you know,
Because then it becomes becomes a part of your habits are who you are.
yeah, I got to get back to
And
this shit.
yeah. And it's like I'm trying to eat away at all the bad habits that I've accumulated and trying to replace them with the good ones. And just know, listen, it ain't gonna happen every day. Some days it's just be like,
You see,
but
you said the key word in most of my problems, half of my problems right now, eat.
yeah,
I mean, want to eat
100%,
everything.
100%.
Hey, but listen, we got 7 minutes left on this timer. Let's get to this last one. You said, what does it mean to be a man?
Yeah, I just in today's world, it's so it's so fluid in certain ways, and in some ways, I try to be respectful, especially I live in New York, I've been exposed to people that have different gender expressions and identities and things like that,
Yeah.
and they may say that they are a man, but it's all right, what does it mean to be a man? It's that's something that I find myself asking myself, and as a dad, what do I want to do? The kind of man I want to be as an example for my son, and I don't know, I don't I think a man is a provider, but so is a woman.
Can be.
Like,
Like
and
so recently, I was we take this suicide awareness class right at work, and they had this. It's always super rough. I swear it is. But they show these men reading their suicide notes, right?
right,
And they still made it. They lived. But the big thing with all of them was, who am I? You know.
right,
And so for whatever reason, it made me think, and I decided to kind of not a suicide letter, but I wrote one to my wife just recently. She don't even know about it.
right,
Decide when I'll give it to her. But yeah, it's not a suicide letter, but the concept of who am I, right? We've been together long enough. I've seen myself long enough. I think I'm a certain kind of person, but who am I in your eyes? Who am I in the kids' eyes? Am I the friend I think I am? Am I the leader I think I am? Am I the dad I think I am? The coworker? Who am I in your eyes? It's like that, as you're saying, to be a man. Most of the time we base that off the idea of the ways that we were raised, whether it was our mother, our father, or grandpa that gives us these ideas, or if you didn't have some of those figures, it was your friends that taught you how to be a man. I feel like I got taught, like we all do mostly when you have friends, get taught certain ways to be a man.
yeah,
But I think to me, with this, as soon as you become a father, right, every other way to be a man now has to be incorporated to that, because that's the
yes,
ultimate be a man experience, right? I've heard so many prisoner stories. The most gangster of the gangster, the most did everything, had the most money, everything, and after 15 years of their lives wasted away behind bars, right? Their number one thing is a real man takes care of his family. That's a man. So I think that's what it's like to be man. Whether it doesn't. I'm not saying like it has to be white picket fence family, but to where my child does not have to want or need, or they know I can get it, I can handle it. I think that's a man.
Yeah, I would say for me, it's like sometimes you should want, and like part of me, like
Yeah.
I do get wrapped up in like like as long as my kids don't have no wants, then I'm doing it. But
Yeah.
then I'm like, well, like nah, bitch. Sometimes you should want.
Oh, for
Sometimes
sure.
the
Yeah.
answer should just be no.
I'm
So
not
it's
saying
like,
completely spoil them. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
they're spoiled more than I was, of course. But
Oh,
yeah,
my, my kids
yeah.
are, but like those are the things that like I like. That's to keep me up at night. It's like when it comes to it, like me as a man, like the central thing is dad, like, and all things sprout from there. And I know it's like not every man has family,
Yeah.
so like it can't just be that. But I think it's just having that one thing inside you that drives you. That like,
So that's a good way, right? We can finish up. We got 3 more minutes still. We can do it. Take out the dad of you as a man. What is it to be a man?
see, that's where it gets tough. It's like I think it's so my
So
identity is so wrapped up in that like that's where like setting these boundaries, even with my
starting
kids
to
and
learn.
things like that,
So
for myself.
go ahead.
No, I was like, so that I can like, who am I? Like, I'm a lot of things. I'm like, I was in the army. I was like a fuck up in high school. Like, I was a deadbeat for a while. Like, I'm a friend. It's like I've lived in different places, but what is me? What was that like that I carried with me through all those places? And it's like it's hard for me to pin down still.
If I was going to think the first, I tried to do it real quick. That back as he was talking, I was saying motivator. That would be the first word that comes to my head right away. If I was to meet you as a stranger, I think all over again. That's what I think you are. You're very motivating. Because you hold us accountable. And I'm your closer friend than most people. But not just that. Like I said again, if I'm trying to think about meeting you as a stranger, I'm like you're very motivating. The caring doesn't come till later. Like you said, you gotta prove that.
Yeah.
But like that, if I'm thinking about okay, like with me being a man, for me, I always like the thought of it was like always the caring. Like I feel like I'm a caring, kind of individual. That's always something as a man. I'm one of the men I'm not afraid to maybe do something that somebody would say is more soft because I know
Right.
I'm not soft. So that's something as a man I feel like I am that I try to incorporate or with stuff like this to show these other men it's all right. You like you can cry, you can be hurt and still be tough as fuck. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now,
It's only I think it's by incorporating those things. I've been like I got tickets to see Rise Against, which is one of my favorite bands, and they got this song called "Survive," and part of the song goes, "We've all been sorry, we've all been hurt, but how we survive is what makes us who we are." And then
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
I just been thinking about like that a lot. It's like everybody got a path to where they've been to,
yeah, hell yeah.
and everybody got a path
Those are
forward.
fire ass lyrics.
Yeah.
It was fire ass lyrics. Well, all right, then, Sam. This was a good one. I hope the audio's not bad. I'm stuffed up as shit.
I mean, I'm talking through fucking AirPods, so it's like,
I was like, oh well. Either way, the topic was good. I was like, I dig this. There's a couple of these I actually think I want to run back with maybe get a couple more people on it, do the
yeah.
same topic. We'll have them check this out first. But all right, then before it cuts it off, peace, man. This was Painted Smiles. Until next week, I'll see you again.
All right, man. Have a good one, everybody.
I don't know how to shut it off. See you every time.
I'm gonna hit leave.